to the Excelsior Band for leading us all in. How great was that this morning? So, I'd like to welcome everyone to the November 13th regular meeting of the Mobile County Commission, and I call this meeting to order. If everyone would please stand for the invocation, it'll be given by Chaplain Philip Snodgrass from the Mobile County Sheriff's Office, and at the conclusion, please remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag.
Today we offer our thanks to you in this season of Thanksgiving. Lord, we pause to take account of all of our blessings, for we live and we exist only by your grace. Lord, I pray that you will open our eyes and our ears that we may see and hear in these challenging times, for we live by your life-giving word. Lord, I pray that your blessings will rest upon our county and our commissioners, and may your work in them be glorious. For it is for your glory and honor that we serve. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Chaplain. I think Commissioner Hudson has some special guests that she wanted to introduce this morning.
We have a number of people here today, in addition to the Excelsior Band, as special guests. From Faith Academy, we have the senior government class, Mr. Gurley's class. Where are you, Mr. Gurley? Okay. Is Mr. Gurley with you? He's not here with you today. Okay, well, we're so happy to have these 7 students, and I would like to introduce them. And as I call your name, if you would stand and be recognized. First of all, we have Nick Davidson, Alexander McSween, Seth Pikus, Aiden McLean, Adriana Steele, Megan Warren, and Sasha Winsick. Let's give them a round of applause to welcome them. We often have students who come and join us for part of a day. They learn all about government operations, and I think this is a requirement in the senior government class. And we are just thrilled to have you here today. And I know that we have a number of visits for you planned. So we will I'll get to meet with you after the meetings, and then we'll take you from there. And Cherie Broussard, of course, is our point person, and she'll be working with you. So thank you for being here.
Thank you so much. Thank you guys for being here. It's always a pleasure to have our students from our community at the commission meeting with their government class to see what your local government is doing. So if everyone's wondering that's never been here before, we usually don't get a lead in like we got this morning. That's very special for us to get. And the reason they're here today is because we're going to recognize the Excelsior Band for their 140th year anniversary with a resolution that will be presented by Commissioner Hudson.
Okay, do we have that resolution? Dana has got that. Okay. Well, welcome, gentlemen. What a wonderful treat this morning. I think we should begin every meeting this way, don't you? You guys look good for 140. That's a long time. We are so thrilled to have you here today. You are such an iconic part of Mobile. When you think of the Excelsior Band, you know, it's synonymous with Mobile, and we're proud of everything you do and the cheer that you bring to people, and especially around Mardi Gras when we hear you so much at so many different events. So this morning we have a resolution in honor and recognition of the Excelsior Band for your 140th year anniversary. It reads, whereas the Excelsior Band has been performing in Mobile, the birthplace of Mardi Gras in the United States, since 1883, the band's rich and colorful history is rooted in a tradition of excellence and is believed to be the oldest marching jazz band in the United States. The Mobile County Commission is honored to congratulate the Excelsior Band for celebrating its 140th year anniversary. And whereas the Excelsior Band, which is well known for leading and performing during Mardi Gras parades, was selected as one of the National Endowment for the Arts 2022 Heritage Fellows. The NEA selects 10 organizations annually to recognize them as historical treasures in the United States. Other accolades the band has received includes the 2022 GRIOT Award presented by the Dora Franklin Finley African American Heritage Trail, the 2013 Alabama Folk Heritage Award presented by the Alabama Council on the Arts, and the 2016 Mobile chapter of the NAACP Image Award. And whereas the Excelsior Band is a 10-piece marching brass band that consists of 3 trumpets, 3 saxophones, 1 trombone, a tuba, a bass drum, and a snare drum, the group also performs as a quintet band and plays many genres of music with an emphasis on Dixieland and conventional jazz. Now, therefore, let it be resolved, the Mobile County Commission commemorates the 140th year anniversary of the Excelsior Band by declaring November 13, 2023 as Excelsior Band Day in Mobile County, Alabama. Furthermore, we applaud the band for being one of Mobile County's most treasured resources. Congratulations, Excelsior Band, on your many accomplishments and best wishes for your success. And it was signed by Commissioners Dewitt, Ludgood, and myself, and our County Administrator, Glenn Hodge. And we're happy to present this to you, Mr. London. You are the lead. And I'll tell you what, Mr. London, if you want to introduce the band members and say a few words.
Okay, I just want to say a few words. First, I would like for you to know that there's been no other organization in Mobile, either individual or group, to ever receive the NEA award. This is the first time that it has happened in Mobile. A lot of things happen in New Orleans and North Alabama, but this time it was Mobile. And my wife has told me to say, we're having a free concert Sunday from 2 o'clock to 4 o'clock at the History Museum. So this is just to be the Excelsior Band continuing to celebrate 140 years. So I'm going to introduce the band members, starting with probably the youngest. The youngest in the Excelsior Band could be 50. So this is Sean Thomas. He's our sousaphone player. He's been with the band for almost 19 years. So we also have Mr. L.C. Lyman, who plays with the band sometime. He has played with other bands before. Right now, we are trying to usher him into the Excelsior Band. He plays snare drum, bass drum, and drum set. On this end, we have Mr. Herb Nelson, who's probably our newest member. He's been in the band about 3 years. And the remarkable thing about the band is the band doesn't rehearse. So when you get in the band, then you have to kind of jump in there and figure out what the band is going to do. There's no pre-rehearsal to get in the band. My name is Jose London. I'm the leader of the band. I've been the leader of the band about 23 years. I've been in the band 47 years. So this is one of those bands where people you don't have turnover. Guys get in the band, they stay in the band. That's part of our tradition. We're playing tunes from the 30s, 40s, and 50s, and that will continue to be the Excelsior Band's tradition. Thank you so much, Commissioners. There's nothing like receiving awards locally. We've received awards all over the place, but when we have something like this, it's very special to us. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I think I think next we're going to be the Azalea City Quilters are here today to present the Quilts of Valor. I think our first presentation is on the top row, so we'll meet up there.
Thank you for inviting us here today. Our director at the top is one that's in a wheelchair in this very ADA appropriate building. I want to begin by thanking our government for their service. Because 20 years ago, a very persistent, tiny woman, Blue Star mom named Catherine Roberts had a dream about a veteran that had no rest, no peace, and no comfort. But in the next scene in her dream, she saw him wrapped in a quilt, and he was comforted and resting. In the morning, after talking to her quilting friends, her next call was to Chaplain John Callerson, who was the lead chaplain at Walter Reed Army Medical Center. She had an idea, and he said when telling this story to our assembled volunteers at our national recent conference, that Catherine was very hard to say no to. But the value of a quilt, he knew, was more than regulations allowed for gifts to recuperating servicemen. He knew that a quilt wasn't your ordinary Walmart version of a bed covering because his wife made quilts. Long story short, his wife found out about Catherine's request to wrap one of his patients in a quilt as comfort, and his wife told him, "You have to do it, regardless of the cost." But after many quilts had been wrapped and covered over his patients, there became another wrinkle to the story, as President and Mrs. Laura Bush came for a Purple Heart ceremony, and a picture of the soldier with his Purple Heart Award, the president, and then his own Quilts of Valor draped on his bed was soon all over the news and newspapers. The chaplain also was interviewed by the Washington Post. He was sitting on the couch in his office with stacks of Quilts of Valor in the couch next to him, waiting to be awarded. A photo was taken, and again this photo went viral. Chaplain Callerson was inundated with phone calls from around the world asking how they could donate quilts to our wounded troops. He was soon commandeering an entire storage closet for the quilts as his office was overrun. And then the letter he has kept these 20 years arrived from a nurse in Kandahar. She was sad. She had patients shipping out to Landstuhl Air Base that morning, but she had run out of quilts to wrap them in. Then, as if by a miracle, before they left, the mail came, and there were 5 boxes of fresh Quilts of Valor, ready to wrap service members touched by war with comfort and healing. She was thrilled and wanted him to know the story. Much has happened to our little organization since 2003 when we began, but one thing is the same. We love to wrap quilts around shoulders, especially around those of soldiers, sailors, airmen, and Marines, and we're not so little anymore. There are 11,000 of us with 362,564 quilts awarded as of the end of last month. I want to tell you these quick stories about our beginnings because you need to know where we came from now 20 years ago. This isn't something we do for every serviceman, just as a routine thing going on about our business until the next time. We're here because we truly care about the serviceman's well-being, his peace, and his comfort. We work all year nationwide to make these quilts. We don't know what you've experienced in service to our country, but we want to award you the highest civilian honor we could think of. We give you a piece of our hearts, the talent of the many people it took to make these, our prayers, and our admiration for your sacrifice for others. We've honored over 500 in Mobile alone in the last 7 years. Today, I'll add their names to those others we've proudly honored with the Quilt of Valor. We thank you for your service, your sacrifice, and your valor, and we want to welcome you home. Today, we begin by honoring Ted O'Neill. He's sitting up at the top. He served in the United States Air Force and the U.S. Army for a total of 6 years. He began his service at Lackland Air Force Base in Texas. He served as an airplane mechanic, loading bombs, and as a weapons mechanic and an explosives operator. During Desert Storm, he served in Saudi Arabia. For his time in the service, he received the Air Force Good Conduct Medal, the National Defense Service Medal, and the Small Arms Expert Marksmanship Ribbon. Retired with the final rank of Sergeant E4. In civilian life, he's worked in the Jackson Police Department, in maintenance, and at Jackson Healthcare. He and his wife had 5 children and 6 grandchildren. Today, we'd like to thank him and wrap him in his quilts of valor. Also today, we'd like to honor Paul Pagorsh. He joined the U.S. Army and devoted 2 years to serving his country beginning in Fort Jackson, South Carolina. He was a member of the infantry. Oh, they are, okay. He was a member of the infantry, a paratrooper, and part of the 101st Airborne, the Big Red 1 1st Infantry, and the 82nd Airborne. He served in Fujian, Vietnam, where he received a Purple Heart, 2 Bronze Stars, a Vietnam Service Medal, National Defense Service Medal, Combat Infantry Badge, and the Vietnam Campaign Medal. His civilian employment was at International Paper. His hobbies include fishing, both salt and freshwater, and traveling. He and his wife have been married for 53 years and have 2 children. He's active at St. John's Catholic in Grand Bay. And today, we'd like to thank Paul for his service to our country with his very own Quilts of Valor. Thank you, and welcome home.
No, just for these. Many thanks to the Quilter Valors Foundation and the Azalea City Quilters Guild. In addition to Joyce Reed, we've got Diane Ingalls and Karen Gordon here today. And this is an annual presentation. It's become an annual presentation, and it's an opportunity for the County Commission to partner with the Quilts of Valor Foundation to recognize the service of our veterans and members of our military. And it's a very special time for us. We look forward to this every year and to seeing you. And thank you for your hard work. These quilts are definitely a labor of love and much appreciated by all of us as well as those who are recipients of them. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, guys, and thank you for your service as well. I think we're moving to speakers. Cherie, do we have any speakers?
Yes, sir. We have 3 speakers this morning, and I've spoken to 2 of them. I haven't spoken to all 3 of them, but each speaker may address the commission for up to 5 minutes, and I'll alert each speaker when there are 30 seconds left. And I have a timer, and it'll ring at the 5-minute mark. Our first speaker today is Danny Patterson, and he's with Gulf States Health Policy Center, and he would like to address the commission about Equitable Neighborhoods Initiative.
Thank you, sir, for being here, and if you don't mind, state your name and your address for us, please.
Yes, Danny Patterson, 13222 Winslow Avenue, Bayou La Battery, Alabama, representing the Gulf States Health Policy Center, or Bayou Clinic. And I'm thankful to be here today. I wanted to definitely thank the County Commission for all your support down through the years, not just with our efforts in Bayou La Battery and the Codian area, but in all of the areas where people come before you and ask for support, especially with matters regarding health and wellness. Of course, it's certainly very important. So I'm thanking you on behalf of them. And today I want to bring something to the commission, not to ask for any money, but to share with you some funding that we're bringing to the county. The Equitable Neighborhoods Initiative, or ENI for short, is funded by the Alabama Department of Public Health. And from the Alabama Department of Public Health, the funding came through the University of Alabama Department of Economic Development. And it is through my contacts at the university, I was able to get 4 of our communities out of 20 to be supported in this effort. The community of Bayou La Battery, Codian, Pritchard, and the MOA, Choctaw MOA group up in the Mount Vernon area are identified as communities that could use some additional help with health equity. So what are we doing? We're providing a youth council component. We're providing a faith-based capacity building component. We're providing a mental health first aid training component, not just to community leaders, but primarily to public safety officials that are in those communities. And the biggest piece, and I'll finish with this, is the healing zones. We're creating 4 healing zones, 1 in each of these communities. It's a space. We can't use these funds to do new construction, but we can go into places that have space that can be enhanced. We'll be putting in walking paths. We'll be putting in picnic benches and picnic tables and providing a space for those that are autistic, a space for those children to have a way to help improve their well-being. That's about $60,000 per community, $240 grand. And I want to say I thank you all for what you're doing. And sometimes, I've been around a long time, I come up here or I'll come to the city council or wherever, and I know we all need help and support. But I feel good this time that I'm bringing something to the county. And I thank you all for your leadership. Thank you so much for Sharon. I know she's back there, Sharon Muro. She supports us over in Bayou La Battery on that advisory council. Commissioner Ludgood helps us in the Pritchard community. But I just wanted to come and bring something, a little, kind of flip the script. Thank you for what you're doing. Appreciate what each of you are doing. And I wanted to try to give back to Mobile County. So thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Patterson, for being here, and also thank you for what you do for public health in Mobile County in general, but particularly in my district in South Mobile County at the Bayou Clinic. It's very much needed and very much appreciated.
Thank you.
Our second speaker today is Steve Clements, and he's here to speak about the Mobile Sports Hall of Fame. It's agenda item number 41. Mr. Clements?
Steve Clements. I live at 8845 Dawes Lake Road North in Mobile County. I'm not going to take up time because I know you've got a very long agenda, but I did want to come down and thank all of you for at least your consideration of the request that's made. This is a very exciting project that, together with the city and all of the statuary that's going to be up and down Water Street, this is going to be the crown of the sports world down here. So thank you for your consideration.
Thank you.
Thank you, Steve.
The third person signed up to speak today is Larry Tillman, and he's here to speak to agenda item number 58, the junk ordinance hearing. And so may I suggest you take it out of order and allow him?
Yeah, if it pleases the commission, I think this is you can come on down, sir. This is a request for a hearing that's been set for today. If it's okay, we'll take that item out of order so that we don't
And
take up.
Commissioners, he had some photographs on his phone, and he sent them to me, and I texted them to all three of you. So you do have some pictures that he may be speaking about.
Did you want Glenn to go ahead and read that one out of order?
Yeah, are you the property owner? My understanding that the property owner was a Miss Deborah Lynn
Yes, my
Tillman.
mom, me, and my brother. It's in a state right now.
Okay. Who requested I'm just trying to make sure that because there was a public hearing requested, or a hearing requested, and I think it was
Tillman, right?
requested by whom?
Miss,
She can't come in. She's in the hospital right
we
now.
got a request by his mother, I guess Deborah Tillman, to speak on the subject.
Okay. Is it okay? I mean,
I think so.
Do we need to take it out of order or just allow him to speak?
Well, you can do that. It's the county's burden to prove to the commission that it is. He can respond. You can take this gentleman first and let Mr. Waters speak if you want to do it that way.
that's no problem. I just wanted to make sure that because she requested the hearing,
Well, I don't,
that it was okay.
I think
I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but if she requested the hearing, I was just making sure that it was okay for us to have the hearing
I
without her
would
here.
suspect it would be, sir.
All right, thank you. Go ahead, sir. Would you state your name and address, please?
Harry Tillman, 6401 Three Notch Road, Mobile, Alabama. I don't know what them are. We've, in the past couple of weeks, went over there and cleaned up. We've cut the grass, pulled the vines down, cut the trees. There's still limbs on the ground. Like I said, my mom's going through cancer and everything, so we hadn't actually been able to jump on it like we're wanting to, but it is day and night from what it used to be.
Okay.
I don't know what else to say.
That's fine, and we'll have, so just to let you know, this came as a request through my office by some of the neighbors in the community, around the residents. I'm not even sure if it's
But
occupied.
we had not been living in it, but we are fixing to. My daughter's fixing to be moving in there.
Okay. And, we'll let, Mr. Waters, if you don't mind, I think there are some pictures. I don't know if we had them available for the screen or if we were able to get it up, but I think we were.
While she's doing that, let Tom start with his presentation.
Yeah, if you don't mind, Tom, you can come down and tell us what you found at the residence. And I think you were out there a couple of weeks ago and then back again this past week, and can you advise if there has been any improvements on the property or?
There has been, Commissioners. I'll try to get some pictures up to show you. I was out on Thursday, which was the last day before our holiday.
Are these the
And
same
again, to
pictures
start
that
from
we
the
had?
beginning, I did, was following up on a complaint from the community a few months ago and found the structure. Give me just one second. Appeared to be an abandoned structure, and the weeds were pretty high in the back. Some structural damage to the main house and the outbuildings as well. So that's kind of where the case started. Couldn't really get to the buildings in the back at the time because it was so overgrown. Somebody has gone out and bush hogged some of the area, and so you can get a little better access now.
We may have to recruit Kenny to come down here. There we go.
it up there. The commissioners, the gremlins have got me this morning, so I had all the pictures here, but for some reason I'm not able to get them on there. This, I'm sorry, they're kind of small, but this just shows some of the debris. The back of the house here is, it looks like it had an impact from a tree. It's pretty severe damage there and there. This photograph here shows the siding broken. Moisture
Tom,
is able to get in the house.
Can we pass this out? So she can figure it out real quick.
Thank you, Cynthia. Okay. Hey, can't live without them. All right, so these are pictures from Thursday.
Dennis office next door is trash. So we got some bums that's been going through the trash, and that's all the stuff in the dentist office next door. Yes, that's being cleaned up today. I'm off today, and all that's going to be cleaned up today.
But this was the damage to the back of the house itself.
Actually, the heat of the house.
Yeah, I don't.
That's just right there on the corner of the house.
Without access to the inside, I don't know. You know, it's potential for water to get inside and cause mold and so forth. Without having access, I don't know for sure if that's happened yet or not. Yeah. So these are all the house. Once the bush hogging got done, this is a hazard. It has water in it and still has the pool steps that were there. It did Thursday. It should have a barrier around it. It's the size that would require by code to have a 4-foot non-climbable fence. At very least, not have the ladder in it so the little child could climb over in it. We noticed this Thursday when we went out and the grass had been cut. On the initial response, it was covered up by the weeds. And now the grass is cut, you can see that it's there. This is, again, one of the outbuildings. This is one of the larger buildings. You can see holes in the roof, holes through the walls. This door, it's open sometimes and closed sometimes, so I would consider it not secure. So, people like to find places to go in and do kind of things that they really shouldn't do. So I did try to push the door myself to see if it would go open, but it was open it was closed Thursday. It was open the time prior to that. So.
They had been busted down. Again, some bums or whoever did come in and busted, stole a bunch of stuff out of my house.
I didn't. This note showed up after we started with this procedure, so I didn't know really who this was.
Just where people trying to come back in again. It's not a thread. It ain't nothing. It's just a put on there where they wouldn't come back and they hadn't been back since.
So that's what I have to offer to you.
That's right.
Okay, great.
Those are kind of the same ones that I got. We didn't show the ones where.
So, Mr. Tillman, we're not here to be the bad guy. We don't want to tear down your house. We don't want to, that's the last thing we want to do, but we also have to be responsive to our other constituents who live in the area who have concerns, and not only just concerns of how the property looks, but also one of the concerns that I see probably where it's coming from now is mosquitoes in the area there. With a pool that looks like that, maybe that's part of the problem, but
Tear that down,
I guess at the end of the day, my question to you is, like I said, we want you to clean your property. We don't want to come out and clean your property or take it over. And I'm sure Mr. Waters will work with you to, in his office. He's over all of our inspections, and he can tell you what needs to be done to this property to get it back to code. And of course, you said, I think your daughter is attempting to fix it. How long do you need, or how long do you think it would take you to get the property presentable? 60 days, Jay, is it?
I think that's the reason we could hold this over for 2 months, and we'll see where he is with Tom's assistance.
Would that work for you if we move forward to get, and I'm just asking questions.
And I think for the bulk of what needs to be corrected, possibly, but I see some immediate public safety issues here that have to be handled immediately. And if they're not, then there's liability. So I think that Mr. Waters needs to outline what those top priorities for immediate need are, and they need to be corrected right away. I mean, within 48 hours.
Yeah. So I think what we could do is move, and do you want to read the agenda item so that we can, we'll just take it out of order so that we're not Mr. Tillman's time today, because I think
It is number 58, Commissioners. And that item, if we were to read it, says, "There's a request for hearing before the Mobile County Commission by Deborah Lynn Tillman as owner regarding real property located at 6401 Theodore Road, and for the commission to determine whether or not the building or structure located at said address constitutes a public hearing."
public nuisance.
Excuse me, I'm sorry, public nuisance.
Um,
We can reschedule that for 30 days or 60 days, whichever.
Well, I think today is, it's kind of, it's getting confusing, but I'm going to try to straighten it out. I think today what we're here, Mr. Tillman had a public hearing. I don't think there was any action on the agenda today. So I think
Well-
what we could do, I guess, is declare it a public nuisance and maybe give him the 60 days that he's requested to readdress it. Is that?
We
sound-
could, or we
If
could,
there's other things that Commissioner Hudson wants addressed sooner than that, well, then we need to,
maybe 30 days. Next meeting be the 11th of
I
December.
think 30 days.
Why don't we just take no action?
yeah.
Wait until December 11th.
But I think we need to check back within 48, 72 hours, whatever you think is reasonable, Tom, to make sure that these immediate problems are handled.
Could you be back on December 11th? Because what we're doing is we're gonna, I guess, determine today whether it's a public nuisance, and I guess we'll vote on that. And at that point, if we want to do that, so.
Why don't we
I'm
not,
a little,
go ahead, Commissioner.
I'm a little bit confused. Typically, the determination, when we're asked to declare a public nuisance, that's generated by our staff based on their observation.
That's correct.
But this is the property owner asking for a
Well, this
hearing
is
in
their
this matter.
right to contest whether the commission were to declare it a public nuisance or not. And if
But we haven't been asked to declare it as a public nuisance.
That would come later.
Well, since it's not, that is really not properly before us, if whatever time that our staff wants to bring that to us, then we would make the decision on the public nuisance. In the meantime, without that, I would think that the Tillmans would have a chance to get it ready. And Mr. Waters may not even have to move to do that if they do it.
What is proper protocol here, Jay? We need
I
to know
think the best thing
logistically.
to do in this circumstance would just be to hold it over until the 11th of December. We'll add some agenda language to ask the commission to declare it a public nuisance or not, depending on the progress that this gentleman or his mother had made in the next 30 days.
And what can be done in the meantime to make sure these issues are handled?
I think that we can issue him some code violations too if he doesn't do it, which will be a separate issue from declaring the property a public nuisance. I'll get with Tom on that. The code allows that to happen. We don't do that on a regular basis.
I can't speak for Ms. Tillman, but I doubt that her objective was to push this into a declaration of a public nuisance.
Well,
No,
we're
but I
not doing
think
that
we were coming
today.
up on a deadline for it to be an agenda item is why we had already notified her, and I think
Yeah,
she
she's been
sent in
notified.
to the public.
It scared my mom. She don't want to lose the house.
Yeah.
That's what it's come down to.
And that's not what
She
we
don't
want to
wanna lose
do.
her
I mean,
house.
that's for certainly not what we want to do, but I think we were getting to a deadline on a notification to where we were going to have an agenda item, and this was her opportunity to come speak before that item, if I'm
So if we
remembering correctly.
reset it a month, we'll add the proper agenda language, and if he has cleaned it up, then it may be a moot point. If it's not, then we'll ask the commission to consider it based on the facts at that time.
And in the meantime, issue code violations for those.
If
Public
that's what
safety
Mr.
hazards.
Waters feels is appropriate, yes, ma'am. That'd be separate from the public nuisance determination.
Are you following that, Mr. Tillman?
Yes.
So usually what happens is we'll have an agenda item to declare the property a public nuisance. I think your mother had just requested a hearing before we got to that point because of the notification that she had received. So I think what we're doing today is we're going to carry this over until the 11th of December and give you an opportunity to fix it under the watchful eye of our code inspectors. Does that sound about right? Okay, or is there?
Whatever our lawyer says.
But we're taking no action today.
Yes.
Give them a month to try to remedy the problem. We'll be back, see how it's going.
We have no more speakers.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. I know that was very complicated, but it was kind of, I think, the way it was presented. So, I guess we'll move forward to Eddie.
The agenda for today is as follows. Number 1, approve minutes of the regular meeting of August 28th.
So moved.
Second?
2, approve a list of claims.
So moved.
Second?
3, authorize recipient agreement with the City of Chickasaw for sewer improvements in the South Thompson Court and 9th Avenue neighborhoods in an amount up to $200,000.
So moved.
Second?
4, authorize subrecipient agreement with the City of Citronelle for road improvements in the Woodland Court community in an amount up to $200,000.
So moved.
Second?
5, authorize subrecipient agreement with Habitat for Humanity of Southwest Alabama for the term of November 15th through October 30th, 2024, in an amount up to $140,000 of community development block grant funds to provide roof replacement for eligible residential homeowners within the urban county.
So moved.
Second?
6, adopt resolution authorizing request of the Sheriff's Office to dispose of certain items from fixed assets inventory list and declare as surplus property.
So moved.
Second?
7, approve memorandum of understanding between Mobile County Sheriff's Office and Immigration and Customs Enforcement for the reimbursement of joint operations expenses from the Treasury Forfeiture Fund.
So moved.
Second?
Number 8 was voted at the conference. 9, approve preliminary resolution authorizing 2023 capital improvement plan projects for issuance of general obligation improvements warrants, Series 2023, in an aggregate principal amount not expected to exceed $30 million for various capital improvements for use in serving the citizens of the county, pending legal review.
So moved.
Second?
10, adopt resolution declaring real property at 1670 Aiden Road as surplus.
So moved.
Second?
30, approve purchase agreement to sell the real property located at 1670 Aiden Road to John and Lori Jean Johnston for the sum of $12,000 plus closing costs, and to authorize the commission president to execute all necessary documents.
So moved.
Second?
12, approve amending the 2019 capital improvement plan to create project Tanner Williams Road additional lanes with an estimated cost of $2,344,953, Also decreasing the estimated cost of CIP 2019-10 new vehicle maintenance project by the same amount.
So when we were in conference, we said this was supposed to be rewritten to reflect an 800,000 plus amount that was going to go into unnamed funds. It doesn't look like the language changed.
Commissioner, there will be no money left in that account. That the agenda item is correct as written. It'll be zeroed out at that point. The 800,000 was a confusion between two different CIP programs. There was 800,000 in a different CIP program to that same project.
So what we're doing is moving all the money that was previously in the new vehicle maintenance project to Tanner Williams.
For the 2019
Right.
CIP, that's correct.
Okay. So moved.
Second?
Hey, Brian, I know that they had closed that Tanner Williams Road for the weekend, or is that back open today?
It should be back open by the end of today, sir.
End of today, thank you.
13, approve request of the Finance Department to amend May 8th minutes, agenda item 13, to change project number from a Commission District project to an ARPA project, appropriation contract with the City of Chickasaw in the amount of $45,000 from District 1 funds for turnout gear protective equipment to benefit Chickasaw Fire Department.
So moved.
Second?
14, approve request of the Finance Department to amend February 9th minutes, agenda item 15, to change project number from a Commission District project to an ARPA project, appropriation contract with the City of Satsuma in the amount of $25,000 from District 1 funds for Satsuma Fire Rescue Health, Wellness, and Fitness Program.
So moved.
Second?
15, approve purchase of 4.05 acres of real property to be part of the Mobile County Sportsplex from Mary Lou Berg, located south side of Halls Mill Road, for a purchase price of $390,000 plus closing costs, and to authorize Commission President to sign all documentation related to the transaction.
So moved.
I thought this item was removed from the agenda Thursday. I'm sorry.
The other piece.
Parcel.
Item number 48.
Okay,
This one is still, my understanding was to go, correct, 48 is the one that's been removed.
so what is this property? This is that little horseshoe-looking piece of property with the residential?
No,
No, this is at the front of the complex.
Okay,
along Halls
Okay.
Mill
Big
Road.
rectangular
Okay.
piece.
sorry.
That's okay. It's like a puzzle here.
So moved.
Second?
I thought you moved it.
Well, I did, but
Sorry.
We,
Second.
we've done it twice. It's done for sure.
yeah, I moved. You want a second?
Second.
16, approve sponsorship agreement with Bayou Clinic doing business as Gulf States Health Policy Center in the amount of $1,500 from District 3 Commission funds for its Bayou on the Move Community Health and Wellness Day.
So moved.
Second?
17, approve sponsorship agreement with Boynton Oak Society in the amount of $2,000 from District 1 Commission funds for its Boynton Oak Festival.
So moved.
Second?
18, approve appropriation contract with Ambitiously Him and Her King Foundation in the amount of $5,000 from District 1 Education funds for the Bridge of Hope Young Parenting Program.
So moved.
Second?
19, approve sponsorship agreement with Ambient doing business as Focus Empowering Women in the amount of $2,500 from District 1 Education funds for its scholarship program.
So moved.
Second?
20, approve appropriation contract with Crichton Youth Services in the amount of $2,500 from District 2 Education funds for its Youth Health Ambassador program.
So moved.
Second?
21, approve sponsorship agreement with Clotilda Descendants Association in the amount of $3,500 from District 1 Commission funds for its Spirit of Our Ancestors Festival.
So moved.
Second.
22, approve amending annual contract with Satsuma Public Library to increase the contract amount from $48,938 to $63,938 for an additional amount of $15,000 from District 1 funds for its operational expenses.
So moved.
Second.
23, approve appropriation contract with Murphy High School Alumni Boosters in the amount of $4,109.56 from District 1 Education Funds to help support the Murphy High School tennis team.
So moved.
Second.
24, approve appropriation contract with Big Brothers Big Sisters of the Central Gulf Coast in the amount of $10,000 from District 1 Education Funds for its big event fundraiser.
So moved.
Second.
25, award bid to Delta Flooring for one-year flooring covering replacing installation at various Mobile County facilities not to exceed $100,000 will be paid from Cost Center 84.
So moved.
Second.
Commissioners, I have a correction on 25. It actually, instead of being engineering and architectural fees, it should be building repairs. That was my error on that item.
26, award bid to James B. Donaghy for Government Plaza Smoke Dampener Survey for their total bid in the amount of $93,500 will be paid from Cost Center 84.
So moved.
Second.
27, approve assignment to Baker LPA Group for Strickland Youth Center intake renovations. Work will consist of design, bidding, and project administration associated with the development of the intake renovations. The proposed fee is $8,482, will be paid from Cost Center 22.
So moved.
Second.
28, approve application for retail beer and retail table wine alcohol license submitted by Dolgen Corp. For Dollar General store on Laurendine Road.
So moved.
Second.
29, approve application for retail beer and retail table wine alcohol license submitted by Dolgen Corp. For Dollar General store located on Jeff Hamilton Road.
So moved.
Second.
Number 30, we have a change to the agenda. The agenda item language is as follows. Approve application for transfer of lounge retail liquor alcohol license from Matati Petroleum to Kamaya 23 for Grand Bay Package Store on Highway 90.
Second.
Number 31 will be changed as follows. Approve application for transfer of retail beer and retail table wine alcohol license from Matati Petroleum to Arshan 23 for Grand Bay Food Mart located on Highway 90.
So moved.
Second.
32, approve appropriation contract with Hargrove Foundation in the amount of $5,000 from District 1 Education Funds for its annual gala.
So moved.
Second.
33, approve sponsorship agreement with Mobile Law Enforcement Foundation in the total amount of $1,000 for its annual luncheon. Funds will be divided as follows.
So moved.
Second.
34 was voted at conference. 35, approve request of the IT Department for the Mobile County Commission to rescind its action in the September 11th, 2023 minutes, agenda item 34, approving a master service agreement with Threat Advice for a monthly network security review in the amount of $364 for 36 months from Cost Center 001, as the county no longer requires these services.
So moved.
Second.
36 was voted at the conference. Items 37 and 38 will be removed from the agenda. 39, Approve master services agreement with Nova Coast to provide assistance with the migration from Exchange 2016 to Office 365 for the IT department on an ad hoc basis for an amount not to exceed $17,200 pending legal review.
So moved.
Second.
40, approve election services agreement with Election Systems and Software to provide election-related services for the probate court from Cost Center 140, cost to be determined by invoices for a term beginning January 1st and ending December 31st, 2024, pending legal review.
So moved.
Second.
41, approve contract with Mobile Sports Hall of Fame in the amount of $300,000 for the build-out of the Mobile Sports Hall of Fame Museum. Will be paid from Cost Center 74, funding contingent upon the City of Mobile's appropriation of the cost of the build-out of the Mobile Sports Hall of Fame Museum over and above the county appropriation hearing granted.
So moved.
Second.
42, approve service agreement, standard terms and conditions with Unity Fiber to provide telephone, Unity Fiber voice, and other communication services to the county for the IT department pending legal review. No cost center is required. Cost will be determined by service orders.
So moved.
Second.
43 was voted at conference. 44, approve master services contract with Kimley Horn and Associates to provide professional services for the Mobile County Park Initiative pending legal review.
So moved.
Second.
45, approve master services contract with Michael Baker International to provide professional services for the Mobile County Park Initiative pending legal review.
So moved.
Second.
46, approve request of the Mobile Police Mounted Auxiliary to waive fees for the use of the John Archer Center on November 27th through December 8th and February 7th through February 14th, 2024 for use during the Mounted Police Instructor Course in the event of inclement weather. There will be no cost to the county.
So moved.
Second.
47, approve contract with the Walker Collaborative for professional services related to the planning, marketing, and design consulting master planning for the Mobile County Civil Rights and Cultural Heritage Districting Master Plan, pending legal review, costs paid by ARPA.
So moved.
Second.
48 was held over at conference. 49, approve
Excuse me, 48, are we just going to continue to hold that one over until further notice?
Until the December meeting to give time to resolve some differences with the owner.
Okay, so it'll come back
for the
up on
commission to consider.
the December agenda. Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
thank you.
That's the one I was talking.
Yeah,
thinking of.
I know.
Commissioner Hudson, you wanted that on.
It's like both like 4 acres and around the
Yeah.
same price. I was like, wait a minute.
You wanted that to be on the December agenda, correct?
If we're ready to move forward.
Well, we'll have those differences worked out and bring it back on the first meeting in December.
Yes, thank you.
So can the minutes reflect the date certain that it comes back?
December 11th, I think, is that meeting day. So yes, ma'am.
Okay.
$49, approve master services contract, including task 1 with Thompson Engineering to provide professional services for the Mobile County Civil Rights and Cultural Heritage District Master Plan, pending legal review, costs paid from ARPA.
So moved.
Second.
50, approve master services contract, including task 1 and task 2 with Mott McDonald, Alabama, to provide professional services for the Mobile County Civil Rights and Cultural Heritage District Master Plan, pending legal review, contract costs paid by ARPA.
So moved.
Second.
51, approve change order number 1 with Sycamore Construction for project West Mobile County Park improvements. This change order will increase the contract by $66,266.52. The new contract amount is $2,066,266 $253.52. Total project funding provided as follows.
So moved.
Second.
52, rescind approval of change order number 1 with McElhaney Construction Company for project Chickasaw Park improvements, disc golf course improvements, which was approved at the October 10th minutes meeting, agenda item number 14, and approved corrected change order number 1, which will decrease the contract price by $16,171.14, making the final contract price $268,381.87.
So moved.
Second.
53, approve agreement to borrow traveling exhibit Rosa Parks Tired of Giving In from the Rosa Parks Museum at Troy University to showcase in the atrium from November 27th through December 8th at no cost to Mobile County, pending legal review.
So moved.
Second.
54, approve professional services with Carr, Riggs, and Ingram, CPAs and advisors to prepare the financial statements, schedules, and notes in the amount of $17,500 for the fiscal year 2023, and authorize the commission president to sign letter of engagement.
So moved.
Second.
55, approve amendment to the Mobile County policy concerning resignation, rescission, and refusal.
So moved.
Second.
56 was voted at conference. 57, approve amendment number 7 to the professional services agreement with IT Security and Software Solutions to extend contract term and amend payment structure for services related to annual tax reporting and the Workday software implementation, pending legal review.
So moved.
Second.
58, we will hold over until December 11th. 59, approve professional services agreement with BGSF to provide Workday.
Excuse me, on 58, I thought we said 60 days. December 11th would give him a couple of weeks, 3 weeks maybe.
I thought y'all came down on 30 days.
Yeah, I think.
But that's up to the commission.
I thought we had decided 30 days at the next meeting to give them an opportunity to.
But December
Which, I mean, I
11th
guess we've-
is not 30 days.
I guess 58, and this is so confusing. I think 58 was a request to have the hearing. I don't think it was actually, I think that was all it was the request of the property owner to have a hearing before the Mobile County Commission, if I read it correctly. I think anything in the future that we would do would be our staff putting the agenda item on, like you were mentioning, to declare the property a public nuisance. So 58, I guess we've already,
What's the second meeting?
I think it was just a request for the hearing, so I don't think we need to carry it over. Maybe we can.
What's the second meeting? Is there a second meeting in December?
Okay. Can you tell me why what we did today does not count as giving Mrs. Tillman her hearing?
No, we did give her hearing.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is typically, like you were saying, the staff will put an agenda item on declaring a property a public nuisance and the owner's been notified. And then they come down and they speak on it. And this was just kind of I've never seen it in my time here where the owner requested a public hearing before there was ever an agenda item put on. So I don't know. I think I need some clarity on exactly I know that we had to put the hearing that she requested, but beyond that, I don't know that this agenda item needs to be readdressed. I think the next action would be the staff if it gets to that level.
And I think even if it goes on the December 11th agenda, the homeowner would we could give them an opportunity to continue to make improvements. But this would be generated by our staff based on their information and what they normally
logistically do. And it looks to me like what we're doing is moving to the December 11th agenda, what we did today. Because there's nothing else before us.
Well, that's what the staff would bring before us on the 11th.
I guess on the 11th, if the time is expired, then they could have an agenda item to declare it a public nuisance, and then we could vote on it then, have the property owner back down and decide at that point if we wanted to extend the time to give them.
Yeah, I guess our staff is gonna do that
They are.
if it's ready,
Yes.
if it's appropriate. I guess we can just leave it on there, but I just,
They've been
We'll let
notified
Mr.
already.
Waters go back out and review after what happened over the weekend, if he still thinks it meets the
And
definition.
I don't think there's any need to carry over number 58. 58 was a request by the property owner for a hearing. We did that today. So I think
With no action, right?
with no action, correct. And
The
then
next action will be generated by staff.
by staff,
Right.
that's correct.
right,
Okay.
Maybe that cleaned it up.
yeah.
If
Cleans
not,
it up for me.
If not, Jay, you don't have to get involved in that. That sounds like something an attorney needs to be talking
So
about.
we're saying on December 11th, we don't want this back on.
That's right.
If the
Something else
staff,
may be on.
Something
not
else.
this.
Something else may be back on.
Okay.
if the staff deems necessary, it will come back on the 11th.
If they deem necessary to declare it a public nuisance, they can request that of the commission.
But not Mrs. Tillman's request for a public hearing.
Correct.
Correct.
The public hearing's done. We did that today. Okay, no action.
59, approve professional services agreement with BGSF to provide Workday consulting services in accordance with statement of work number 1 pending legal review.
So moved.
Second?
60, approve hold harmless indemnity agreements for the use of county equipment from the following entities.
So moved.
Second?
61, approve adopt-a-mile application from In Loving Memory of Brenda D. Daniels for the adoption of a segment of Old Highway 43 from the limits of the city of Creola northward to the north end of pavement, a distance of approximately 1.7 miles.
So moved.
Second?
62, approve setting the following speed limits as listed below for roads, segments of roads, and subdivisions.
So moved.
Second?
63, approve supplemental agreement number 1 with John G. Walton Construction Company for project intersection improvements at Airport Boulevard and Eliza Jordan Roads for drainage modifications due to unforeseen and changed conditions, increasing the contract by $101,572.64.
So moved.
Second?
64, approve Commission District project to create 2 signs with posts for Victor D. Birch Memorial Bridge located on Rangeline Road over the Theodore Industrial Canal to be installed by Alabama Department of Transportation. The total estimated cost is $270.
So moved.
Second?
65, approve assigning a contract for professional construction engineering and inspection services for project Randolph Foster Road drainage improvements to McQuarrie and Williams.
So moved.
Second?
66, approve A-Trip 2 fiscal year 2024 application to the Alabama Department of Transportation for safety improvements at the State Highway 193 and Fowl River Road intersection.
So moved.
Second?
67, approve agreement with the Alabama Department of Environmental Management for an American Recovery Plan Act drinking water wastewater project in the amount of $150,000 for removal of closed bridge structure number 334 on Riva Road.
So moved.
Second?
68, authorize advertising for receiving proposals for professional engineering services for the design and construction, engineering, and inspection for removal of closed bridge structure number 334 on Riva Road.
So moved.
Second?
69, approve preliminary and final plat of subdivision of parcels F, G, and H, Terrell Middleton Family Subdivision, and preliminary and final plat of subdivision of Delmas Family Division.
So moved.
Second?
70, authorize advertising and receiving bids for project Citronelle Streets resurfacing.
So moved.
Second.
71, authorize advertising and receiving bids for project Dolphin Island Streets resurfacing.
So moved.
Second.
72, approve assigning a contract for professional engineering services for Mobile County Soccer Complex, practice fields and parking area to Duplantis Design Group, cost to be paid from Cost Center 170, Fund 116.
So moved.
Second.
73, approve reimbursable agreement for relocation of utility facilities on private or public right-of-way with Alabama Power Company for project Boothtown Road grade, drain, base, and pave. The estimated cost to Mobile County is $52,816.
So moved.
Second.
74, commission announcements and/or comments.
Did you have anything, Commissioner Hudson? I have a question, and I can't find it now. I think it was voted on at the conference on Thursday. Dana dealing with the bond issue. Did we vote on that Thursday, or did we vote on that today and I missed it? I was going through here trying to find.
We voted on the resolution as a prelude to a potential bond
Okay.
agreement.
Today.
Nothing today bound you for anything.
What number was that?
Number 9.
Okay, I was trying to find it. I guess I was somewhere else. Will you tell me, Dana, what this means?
Commissioners, this means that in the event you have a project that you plan on funding out of the probably 2024 CIP program, that you will be able to use general fund proceeds to get the project started. And then once the bond warrant closed, the general fund will be reimbursed. So this is kind of like advancing funding needed to get your project started until the bond closes, warrant closes.
When do we anticipate the funding will be in place?
It will be after the first of the year. I had a call with PFM, a brief call to talk about the cadence, and then with the holidays and waiting on documentation from the county, it'll probably be based on how rates flow and everything after the first of the year as opposed to the end of December. So we're beginning to have those conversations, and we'll start our meeting cadence the first week of December.
I guess my main question is this. We're not going to proceed with a bond until we're finished with our audit, I would assume or hope.
Correct.
So what if, my question is this, and I'm sorry I missed this before it was passed, but if someone borrows money, basically, if I'm understanding correctly, if I have a project, I'll say me, if I have a project and I wanted to borrow money from the general fund to start that project before the bond, is that what you're saying I would be allowed to do?
Yes.
Okay, so my next question is, what if for some reason, unforeseen to us, that I borrow $10 million from the general fund and something happens with the audit and we don't get approved for the bond, who pays back that $10 million to the general fund?
I would hope that we wouldn't take out $10 million.
Okay, $1 million,
but,
or $1 for that matter. Who pays back? How does that get paid back to the general? $1. We won't say $10 million. My question is, in the event that the bond does not go through and a commissioner takes money from the general fund for a CIP project and the bond is not approved, how does the money get paid back to the general fund at that point?
At that point, it would just be absorbed by the general fund, but I definitely understand your concern. Our financial professionals and our underwriters and our bond counsel, they are aware of that we're still continuing to work on the audit and do not foresee that being an issue. I spoke with them last week based on the county's strong credit profile. And so I do understand your concern, but the likelihood of that happening is very slim. But I defer to the commission on that.
Commissioner, none of us as individuals could do that. The only way that we would take money from the general fund to move forward on a project would be by an act.
Well, I understand
of this commission.
I understand that it would have to be that it would have to be a commission action, but I'm just concerned with borrowing any amount of money because I would hope if okay, then I guess let me say it this way. If it has to be approved and we don't think it's going to be approved, why did we even pass this item today to borrow money from the general fund? Why didn't we just wait till the bond was resolved and then take the money and do what we're going to do? I just have an issue with borrowing money from the general fund when the mechanism to pay it back is getting a bond that there's no guarantee that you'll get. I understand financial consultants have said what they've said, but I have an issue with borrowing money from the general fund, with that being the mechanism to pay it back is floating a loan, basically. So I just wanted to state my concern with that.
I believe there's a great deal of confidence that this audit will be completed and then we'll move forward. I think that is, I don't think there's really any question at this point. That's the direction that this is going. So I think based on the confidence that that's going to happen, and it's never failed to happen in the past, so we anticipate that it will.
I guess the question for me is the timing. Is there like a set time when we are anticipating a bond issue that we need to have a resolution like this passed in advance of that to protect our ability to do it should we decide to do it? I know we've done it in the past, and I just don't know whether there was some rule that said if you want to be able to do that you have to do it in advance of your bond issue.
If you want to do that, you have to have the resolution passed. Not that you would ever use it, but it's there if you decide you want to use it. But you do not have to use it. And as Commissioner Ludgood said, it would take an action of the commission, right? So it couldn't just be, we have this resolution, people can just spend money as they chose.
I understand that it would have to pass a commission vote, and it'd be, I understand that. I'm just stating let me just say this. I'm stating my objection to borrowing money against the general fund depending on a bond to pay it back. That's all I have to say.
Okay, that's not what this does.
Well, that's what I asked Dana, and that's what she said.
I probably didn't explain it correctly.
I asked her specifically if this resolution would allow one of the commissioners to borrow money out of the general fund to start a project before the bond and then pay it back with the bond, and she said yes. So that's what I understood. I'm sorry if I misunderstood.
It authorizes that, but it doesn't happen, and no single commissioner can do it.
Well, I mean, I understand, but you could present, me, Commissioner Hudson, any one of us could present an agenda item to take $1 million out of the general fund. We could. I'm not saying we are. I understand that it takes a commission action, but you could, is what I'm saying. And if you had, if you had two votes, it could, does that make,
Yeah, I understand. I guess the difference is I've seen, we have had situations come up where we needed to move forward on something. And so because we had not done this resolution that would allow us to use the general funds to do it, we weren't able to do it. And so I think it has just become practice for us now to do this resolution in anticipation of a bond issue. I don't know that we've ever even acted on it. But I know that there's been at least one occasion since I've been sitting here where we wish we had had a resolution like this.
Yeah. Well, I've never seen it, and that's kind of why my question,
and I
guess my question to Dana was, would that allow this to happen? And the answer was yes. So anyway, if nobody does it, I guess it won't be an issue. I just wanted to make sure I was understanding what that meant. But it does mean that that with two votes from the commission, a commissioner could borrow money from the general fund in anticipation of paying it back to the general. Is that correct?
Yes, that could possibly happen, but the commission is generally fiscally conservative. And
I understand that, but I'm just, people buy cars all the time and then go to the dealership 6 months later and their credit's not good enough to buy a car. I'm not saying that we're not fiscally conservative. I'm just stating my concern, and maybe it won't happen.
But it would only be done in the circumstances where the bond issue was imminent, where we were actually going through the process.
Correct.
And the funding had just not
Correct.
been made available yet. It was just in between.
Correct.
Yeah.
Thank you. I guess we got to end the meeting. You had any comments? No? Commissioner Ludgood? Commissioner Hudson? All right. Well, thank everyone for being here. I also wanted to tell everyone thank you for participating in the Operation Green Light over the weekend for the Veterans Day celebrations. And if there's no further business, we will adjourn until November 22nd, where we'll have a combined meeting